Originally constructed in 1996, Las Vegas Motor Speedway held its first major event in September of that year, an IndyCar race won by Richie Hearn. The first NASCAR event, a Craftsman Truck Series race, followed 2 months later. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, then Xfinity Series, paid a visit in '97, before the NASCAR Cup Series arrived in 1998, marking the beginning of the track's long-term success. Changes to the oval in 2006 made it a more competitive venue for stock cars. This major renovation revamped the banking, upping it from a modest 12 degrees to 20. Not only that, but the corners were banked progressively, meaning the further up the racing surface, the steeper the banking. Lap times got quicker and the racing got more competitive, with the current stock car track record held by Kurt Busch at just over 196 miles an hour. Tonight, it's the IROC Challenge Series Anything EC 180. And it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Anything EC 180. Getting ready to get things underway. In fact, we're a little bit behind here. We thought we had an extra 5 minutes just based on the pre-race information, but we're going to jump right into things. 120 laps the distance tonight. Stage at lap 35, 100% fuel on board, unlimited tires. That's all wrong. Sorry about that, folks. We'll get it fixed. We won't wait too much longer. Let's just get to our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 29.303 seconds, it's Brian McCann. Outside pole, missed it by 40 thousandths of a second. It's the 27 of Casey Benz. Row number 2, it's Christian Strader and Peter Ruzick. Row 3 at Lilith Peters and TJ Majors. Row 4, it'll be Neil Quick and Adam Pettit. Garrett Johnston and Kevin McCann will round out row 5. Starting in the 11th position, it's William Tyndall. 12th goes to Gavin Hinson. 13th starter Brandon Mefford. Evan Janik will start in the 14th spot. 15th goes to Todd Kleek. Kyle White, 16th. Chris Mefford, 17th. Kyle Hardy, 18th. Zachary Kleek, 19th. Steve Durbin starts in the 20th spot. Chuck Sweeting, 21st. Doug Wysocki, 22nd. Matt Kopp, 23rd. And shotgun on the field in the 24th position, the 51 of Chris Wally, looking to bounce back and start turning his luck around this season. Again, race details, it is 120 laps. No fast repairs. 75% fuel and 3 sets of tires over the wall. 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if we need it. There, got it done. Field working through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to go green flag racing. Brian McCann, Casey Benz on the front row, leading the field to green. And pace car is in. Chris Mefford looks like he's going to start from the pits. No, they're going to wave this off. So a little snafu on the start. I guess I'm not the only one. That's a good thing. Well, while we get the chance, let's take a look at it now that we got it fixed. 120 laps, stage at 35. 75% fuel, 3 sets of tires. No fast repairs, 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. Track temperature 78 degrees, nice and cool. So I'm trying to see what it is they've got going on here.
Not going, called it off. They're going to sort us out here.
Well, we are unsure what the situation is here on this anything EC 180. We're going to go at least one more lap trying to get the starting order correct, it appears. I don't know if we had someone that just didn't make the session in time. It is showing Chris Mefford with a black flag for some reason or the next. If any of the race admins are able to let us know in the stream chats, either Track Limits or IROC TV, that'd be much appreciated. So we'll give it another shot. Still showing Chris Mefford and Gavin Hinson both in pit lane. Pace car lights are finally off, so it looks like we are going to give this another go here. Half a lap away from the initial start. And Brian McCann in the chat says wheel disconnect. Not sure if it was him or somebody else, but either way. So let's try it again. Field working out of turn number 4. Pace car about to make the left turn into pit lane. Barney with the green in hand, ready to finally get this one underway. From Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the green flag is in the air and we are racing. McCann with the lead off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Casey Bentz and him both have swapped lanes. Bentz now to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's going to drive it to the inside, take that race lead into turns 3 and 4. We'll see if McCann's got the run off, but no, Bentz will shut the door. Christian Strader now alongside the 3 for second. First lap of the race led by Casey Bentz. Majors up to the 4 spot. Lilith Peters right there in 5th, trying to take it away. Once again, we seem like we talk about her every week. She has been so fast all season long, but various incidents and bad luck has prevented some solid finishes, potentially even a win or two out of the 1. See if she can make it happen here tonight. Meanwhile, McCann back to the race lead around Bentz. Christian Strader may do the same and move up to second. Meanwhile, Peters and Majors side by side. These two have gone at it quite a few times this season. Majors now will switch lanes in front of the 1. Gets alongside Bentz for 3rd. So move TJ up into the top 3. Last lap for Brian McCann. So far his fastest of the race. Tire temperatures up, tire pressures are up, handling at a premium. McCann out in front, still looking for that first win of the season. Inconspicuous by his absence, no Aaron Smith here tonight. As much as we like Aaron Smith, I'm sure everybody in the field's happy to see that. He's got a bunch of wins this season already. Now Peters putting the pressure on the 27 of Bentz. Casey really hasn't looked very comfortable here in the opening 5 laps of this race. And now here comes the 49, Adam Pettit. Looked like they were going to make it 3 wide there for a moment. He thought better of it. On board with Lilith Peters. Still battling with Casey Bentz, but here comes Adam Pettit. Thought about going up the middle. Again, wise thinking. It's early here at Vegas. No sense in pushing it 3 wide unless you have to. Pettit follows Bentz on through, gets around Peters, but Peters is going to battle back here on the inside. Meanwhile, Garrett Johnston working to her outside as well. Peter Ruzick, that is, and Garrett Johnston. Eight laps in, McCann still leads. Christian Strader, TJ Majors, Adam Pettit, Casey Bentz, and top 2 starting to check out. A little further update about the snafu at the start of the race. I guess the 99 had a problem on the out lap when everybody's getting gridded up. So the 99 wrecked. That was Steve Durbin, but then Chris Mefford was taken out in that incident. I guess Durbin's one that had the wheel disconnect on him. Typically these cars, as they're set up to turn left, it probably took a hard left into the 46 of Mefford. While the race continues, we may actually have a replay of it. Let's try to get a look. This is before we even got to the green flag. So watch the green number 99, top of the racetrack, and watch the 46 down low. All of a sudden, oh man. I'll tell you, that reminds me a lot of that Steve Park incident at Darlington years ago. Wheel came off on the backstretch, and he got T-boned in the driver's door very hard. Park suffering a pretty considerable head injury in that incident. And Strader real loose, middle of the corner, has to chase it up the racetrack off turn number 2. Strader's last lap, though, about a half-tenth quicker than Brian McCann. Some big movers so far. Adam Pettit from 8th. He's in the 4th spot. Garrett Johnston up 4 as well. Kevin McCann up 4 as well. Further down the line, a lot of shakers and movers. Kyle White's up 6 positions. Kyle Hardy up 7. Hardy running in the 11th spot, just outside the top 10. Everybody comfortable right now. Everybody taking their time, minding their P's and Q's. Brandon Mefford back in 12th, running in between Evan Janik and Kyle Hardy. Kyle White making some moves. White trying to take the spot from the 26 of Peter Ruzick. I think Neil Quick has had a moment. Yes, he has. Neil Quick slow at the bottom of the racetrack here early. Right side damage on the 2. And right rear and right front. Right front wheel a little more towed in than we'd like to see. Let's try and see what happened here to Neil Quick just a moment ago. Down the backstretch, contact. Can't see exactly who that is to the outside. And that is the 39 of Gavin Hinson. That incident did not bring out a caution. Now things have changed considerably here at the front of the field. Brian McCann still with the lead, but for how long, as TJ Majors has caught the 3. So has the rest of this field. Remember, Brian was way out in front, but they have caught him in a hurry. Majors will have a run here off of turn number 2. Does he do anything with it? Takes the move, looks to the inside. It's a wall of air on the nose of that number 6 machine, but it's enough to get it to turn down into 3 and take the top spot. So lap 18 goes up on the board with a new leader. And it's the 6 of TJ Majors. McCann will swap lanes, look to the bottom of the racetrack now to see if he can take it back, but I don't think he'll have the run to do it. Brian McCann all over the back bumper of TJ Majors. Has a run now down the back straightaway. He's going to try and pull the same move, but Pettit's got a bigger run. They're going to make it 3 wide for the lead into turn number 3. There he goes, the 49, the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get a 2-for-1 special. Don't know if it's going to pay off, but now way top of the racetrack, TJ Majors going to carry a ton of momentum. He'll hang on to the top spot for now. McCann still's got a nose into the left rear, but tucks back in behind into 1. Johnston and Peters have closed the gap, so all the top 5 in very close proximity to the race leader right now. On board with TJ Majors, looking back at the rest of the field. Oh, trouble behind! Someone caught the wall very hard. I'm not sure exactly who it was. Was it Brandon Mefford's in trouble? William Tyndall? No, he's good. It's the green car. Peter Ruzick, and he's in the fence again. It just won't turn. And still no caution. There it is.
Did you hear any static, like somebody was keying up on your radio just a few minutes ago? 10-4.
So, first official caution of the night. Took a while for it to come out. I figured it'd be a lot quicker than that, but Ruzick on the second effort, I guess, finally brings it out. Let's get a better look. Now, this is after Ruzick has already hit the wall pretty hard. We're just going to rewind this. This is right out of turn number 4. So watch the 26 and then the 7 of Evan Janik. Mefford's going to put it 3 wide here in the middle, just a little. I think he's going to, he'll check up a little bit to give some space, and he actually turns down to give the 7 a little more room. Ruzick's starting to lose it on his own, and then that momentum that Janik has is going to carry him right to the back bumper. He's going to bounce off the 19 of Kyle White. Mefford will go for a spin down through the grass. I think he'll get away with this without any damage to speak of. But then we'll go real time here, and they'll watch the 26. He'll get in the fence again. So he's down into turn 1. Just doesn't turn. See the suspension damage, all the sparks flying from underneath it. So pit stop's underway. Again, with being the pole sitter, we'll have that number 1 pit stall. That will be an advantage for him. Majors is down and away, 4 tires and fuel, and he's going to beat the 3 out back onto the track. Should get the 1-to-go signal across the line this time by with TJ Majors out in front, Brian McCann, Adam Pettit, Garrett Johnston, Zachary Cleek, Lilith Peters, Kevin McCann, Kyle White, Casey Bentz, Brandon Mefford, your top 10. Cars still on the lead lap. Steve Durbin in 18th, the last car on the lead lap. And Matt Kopp in the 22. He's 2 laps down, but another caution. He'll get a lap back. Pace car comes to pit road, ready to get this thing back underway. Lap 25 will go up on the timing board. And there it is, green back in the air. McCann jumps out of line, takes the move to the inside of Majors for the race lead in turn number 3. He's got it. Surprise attack from the 3 of McCann, puts him back out in front. Now side by side for second, it's Majors and Johnston. I think TJ is going to keep it on the high lane here. It seems to work for him. And he build a run, but with Johnston to the inside, I don't know if he'll be able to get down to the inside of McCann here. On board with TJ Majors as he runs in a second spot behind Brian McCann. Going to put Neil Quick a lap down after that crash that he just sustained. Our first caution of the night. Now Lilith Peters is going to put the charge on to Majors. She wants the second spot. DJ slams the door. Peters will go back to third, maybe fourth if Pettit has anything to say about it. So Pettit now to third. Johnston gets around as well. So does Kevin McCann. So Peters goes from battling for second all the way back to about the 6th spot. Now battling alongside Kevin McCann for that position. Maybe bounced off him just a bit off turn 2. You know, there's calculating drivers, and then there's kamikaze drivers, and I don't mean this negatively at all. Lilith Peters might be one of them kamikaze drivers. She's got a whole lot of talent behind the steering wheel of that number 1 machine. Needs to rein it in just a little bit. Got to be there at the end of these things. Got to take care of the tire, take care of the race car.
Caution.
Caution is out. Trouble off turn 4. Gavin Hinson again. And also again with Neil Quick. We'll have to go back and look at that. Now remember the previous caution. Hinson got into the right rear Neil Quick on the straightaway, effectively killing his night. And then let's watch this closely. Watch the 2. Nice little pit maneuver. Message delivered. Second caution of the night. Same 2 common denominators as the first. Gavin Hinson and Neil Quick. Hopefully they got that settled at this point. Rare connection issue for Brian McCann. It was brief. Stream chat's been awful quiet here tonight, guys. Don't forget we do multicast to IROC TV and Track Limits Network. Feel free to bounce around to both. Viewership helps. Make sure you hit the thumbs up in both of them. Get that like button going. But yes, please check in the stream chat. We do appreciate that. Questions, comments, concerns. Lights on a pace car are out. Front row again is going to be Majors and McCann. McCann with the lead for now. Majors definitely has pace here tonight. These guys are very evenly matched throughout the season. The difference is Majors has some wins. McCann has yet to find victory lane. Hoping to change that here tonight. The pace car is in. Second restart of the night. McCann waits to the last second to fire off. McCann loses some ground on the restart, as the second-place driver tends to do. And McCann losing connection again, just briefly. Don't typically see this out of him. Add one more thing to the list that could cost him here tonight. Hopefully that's not the case. McCann will lead him back to the line. Adam Pettit second. Majors still hanging in third with Johnston and Kevin McCann fourth and fifth. Kevin McCann now bottom of the racetrack, looking for more. Kevin McCann with a big run to the inside again. Johnston's going to try and go along with him, make it 3 wide, thinks better of it. Kevin can't get it done. Johnston's going to give it a go. Nothing doing. Kevin's making it work in the bottom of the racetrack, but he's not able to really get clear. He gains a ton of track position on entry to the corner, but from the center off, that outside lane just seems a bit faster. Kevin tried to squeeze in front of the 75 of Chuck Sweeting. Might have been some contact there. Just wasn't room to do it. Brian McCann still out in front, but Pettit closing up in on the 3 just a bit. Last laps were separated by only 2/10 of a second. 2/100ths of a second. Major's only 1/100th of a second off the 49's pace. 40 laps in here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Third distance. Some big names out of this one already. Neil Quick, Evan Janik, and Chris Mefford. Mefford, unfortunately, out of this one before the green even dropped. Peters trying to take a look to the inside of Majors again, not close enough to mount a charge just yet, but tucks up to the back bumper of the 6 in the middle of 3 and 4. Action further back in the pack. The 27 of Casey Bentz might have bounced off Kyle Hardy there just a moment ago. Still battling with Hardy for the 10th spot. Casey's got the 11th position right now. They keep going back and forth. Bentz in the blue 27, Hardy up top in the 35. Hardy gets the best of him, and Bentz loses a couple out of that deal, so he'll slide down back to the 12th position. Some of these guys opted to put a set of tires on here at that last caution. Brandon Mefford being one of them. Sparks fly down the backstretch, but Mefford running in the 8th position. Now to the back bumper of Christian Strader. Strader's been fast all night long as well, further back in the pack than he was previously. He's battling up front in the top 3, the early running of this race. Now Peters making a move on Majors again. Saw a little bit of this at Kansas Speedway last night. You could really get to the inside of a guy, but you really couldn't complete the pass down low, and Majors is showing that to Lilith Peters right now. He's really been dedicated to the higher lane for the most part of this race. Now protects the bottom through start finish. Runs about the middle lane here, kind of dumping some dirty air on the nose of Lilith Peters. Oh, real loose goes the 6, but he hangs on to it. Rear end looked like it stepped out considerably there off of turn 4, but it did not slow his momentum. Might have been some contact from the 1 there into the back of Majors, and now the caution is out again.
Yeah, did my radio sound bad out there?
Garrett Johnston, a little off the pace at the bottom of the racetrack. Let's take a look. Johnston running in the 6th position at the time. Yeah, there was that big checkup. We saw Peters get into the back of Majors. We'll watch it here again. I'll see if I can get you a different angle of it. It gets you a better picture of what really happened. Watch the 1. The Lilith Peters machine will get into the back of TJ. Remember, he got loose off of 4, but there's some contact there. She checks up to keep from wrecking the 6, but that kind of stacks everybody up behind her. Kevin McCann gets into him. Kevin McCann gets into her. Johnston gets into Kevin. Johnston gets the worst end of the deal. Don't think he hits anything here. Does have some nose damage after the contact, though. Watch it in real time. See if you could react as fast. Did a good job of turning it right and locking it down, though. So, just about everybody comes to pit lane, except for the 1. Lilith Peters stays on the racetrack to pick up the race lead. She made her stop at lap 22, so she's been out there for a while on this set of tires. She'll get a chance to cool him down here, but this is how we're going to find out how important fresh tires are. Peters has been out there on the green up front, so she's pushing hard. She'll have the advantage on the restart as the race leader. Adam Pettit made a pit stop. Looks like no tires for Pettit. Christian Strader, same story. Chuck Sweeting, Brandon Mefford, same story. Remember, they had a little bit newer tires. They made their pit stop a little more recently. Brian McCann comes down. He does bolt on 4 fresh tires. Tyndall and Bentz, nope. TJ Majors, Kevin McCann, yes, 4 tires. Durbin and Wysocki, fuel only. Kyle Hardy, Chris Wally, Zachary Cleek, and of course Garrett Johnston, fresh tires. So we're on the 1 to go. Get our first opportunity to see this restart with some old rubber at the front of the field. Really think Brandon Mefford's in the best position right here, other than being on the outside, at least right now, because Pettit's going to have the late jump on Peters on the restart. It's going to likely stack up the outside lane. But if Mefford can get to the outside and make a move around Pettit on the restart, he might be in a good position to go after that lead. So as we're ready for the restart, it'll be Peters and Pettit on the front row, then Strader and Mefford, Brandon. Brian McCann, William Tyndall in the third row. Then it's TJ Majors, Casey Bentz, Kevin McCann, Kyle Hardy to round out the top 10. Pace cars in.
Green.
Peters gets a good jump on the restart. Strader will roll up the back bumper. Peters blocking the outside. Strader's got to run into turn number 3. He keeps it to the top of the racetrack. Pulls it down to the middle lane, in behind the 1. Peters will come back around and lead this lap. Top 6 or 7, all single file down the backstretch. The top 3 close together here. Peters, Strader, and McCann. Brian McCann up to that 3rd spot after putting on 4 fresh tires. Pettit will make a move back to the inside as McCann was loose off of turn number 4, broke his momentum considerably. Slides him back to the 5th position. TJ Majors now to the inside, trying to take that away. Brandon Mefford up the racetrack in front of the 3. They make some contact off of turn number 2. Mefford hangs on to it. McCann didn't appreciate the slide job. Majors now will jump to the outside on Adam Pettit. This is the 3rd position. Majors also took 4 fresh tires on the last caution. So just for comparison, Peters' last lap on the older tires at 29.64. It's only about 2/10 off her fastest lap of the race. Holding their own right now, but Majors is coming in a hurry. His last lap, 100th off of his fastest lap, 29.47. Scrapes the wall, gets to the outside, coming to the line here. It's going to be Majors at the stripe to lead that lap. Peters going to try and battle on the bottom of the racetrack. Drives it in deep into turn 1, slips up the track a little bit. Majors gives her room, but still powers around the outside. Now she's caught in the middle between the McCanns. Kevin will go through and get 2 spots in one fall swoop, up to the 3rd position. Might have 2nd here with Strader slipping up the racetrack. Kevin McCann now to the 2nd spot, also with new tires. So I guess that settles the debate. Fresh tires make the difference. Lilith Peters may be wanting a caution here sooner than later, so she can take the opportunity to put 4 on herself. Now TJ Majors with the race lead. Got to worry about Kevin McCann in the rearview mirror. A different McCann to contend with for TJ. Not much of a lift out of Kevin McCann, almost wide open the whole way around. Maybe about 3 seconds of off throttle time, maybe less. Big time battle here after behind the leaders. You got Zachary Cleek in the 11 underneath McCann. Kyle Hardy up the racetrack. He's following the 3, changes lanes in behind Cleek, trying to decide where do I want to go, who's faster. Really depends on where on the racetrack you are. Sometimes that top lane's really quick. Sometimes the bottom lane is fast. Hardy was trying to make up his mind, and now they've gotten single file. Strader's fallen back a distance. He's back now in the 12th spot. Garrett Johnston, after his spin, lived to race another day, running in the 13th position, still on the lead lap. Doug Wysocki in 14th, the talent of this line. Kevin McCann alongside Majors off turn number 2. Can't get it done, and it's allowed Cleek and Brian McCann to close the gap. These McCann boys are competitive not only in general but with each other. We'll see if Brian works with Kevin here for a minute or if he just tries to take the spots away from the both of them. Still has to contend with the 11 of Zachary Cleek, however. Cleek now to the top of the racetrack. He'll build a run off turn number 2 and loses connection. Where'd he go? That was close. Scary moment. Just past halfway here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the Anything EC 180. We're going to step aside, get our side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Majors continues to lead over Brian McCann, but he is hotly contested by the 11 of Zachary Cleek. Now Kevin McCann jumps to the inside. A very racy number 33 in Kevin McCann here tonight. Going to be a tall order for TJ Majors to hold off the likes of the McCann brothers and Zachary Cleek. 70 laps in here in Vegas. Majors got to love seeing them side by side behind him. Gives him a little bit of breathing room, almost 3/10 the advantage for the 6. Majors with 3 wins on the season, trying to make it 4. Again, Brian McCann, 4 poles this season, but no wins. Oh, in trouble. Kevin McCann into the fence. No caution as of yet, but a hard hit. Looked like a connection issue from somebody. It might have actually been the 33 of McCann. Right front tire not even turning. Right front is down. Kevin McCann going to come to pit lane.
Caution.
And the caution comes out. Going to rewind this because it didn't give me a yellow in enough time. There was some contact with Zachary Cleek. We'll watch it again. Yeah, net code. And you saw Cleek disappeared from view. So that was likely due to the connection issue from Zachary Cleek. He lost connection right after contact, but the net code precipitated it. So going to be a tough ending for Kevin McCann. That thing is tore up pretty good, and again, no fast repairs to be used. So a contender for the win out of this one prematurely, and Kevin McCann, after contact with Zachary Cleek and some connection issues at the same time. Likely to see everybody down pit lane. Yep, leader Majors will bring everybody down. TJ comes to a stop in his pit box. McCann, Strader, Bentz, Pettit, top 5, all in the pits. The attention of their crew, fuel only for Majors. He'll get back out there. TJ will hang on to the race lead, but now Kyle Hardy also going with fuel only, but it looks like everybody else in behind TJ Majors, with the exception of Kyle Hardy, have opted to put 4 tires on. We saw how this worked out earlier in the race when Lilith Peters opted to stay out on old tires. She led about a lap, maybe 2, and then quickly fell to the back. See if Majors can hold these guys off on the restart with that older set. Peters, however, in 16th now and still sitting on pit lane. She leaves now. Peters only in her pit box for about 7 seconds. And she's going to come back down here. She's the last car in the lead lap, so maybe she's thinking better of this fuel-only decision. That or she's got some damage that we're not aware of. Car looks pretty clean. Topping off again. She might be at the edge of that fuel window. This might be strategic for her. So the field ready to go back to the green flag here. Pace car is going to pull down pit lane. Front row will be Kyle Hardy and TJ Majors now. Majors with the lead, opting for the outside lane. Peters gets caught up to the back of the field. Green back in the air. Majors with a great jump. That backs up the inside lane, but not enough to keep Ryan McCann from pouncing. He'll get clear of Hardy in no time flat. And again, McCann with fresh tires. He will drive around the 6 of Majors on the bottom of the racetrack for the race lead. And like a rock in the middle of the lake, Majors starts to fall back. Hangs on to that 4th, 5th position for now. He's got Chuck Sweeting on the back bumper. Garrett Johnston and Casey Bentz also in tow in the outside lane. Ooh, contact from Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting goes down the bottom of the racetrack. Majors in trouble here. He's going to free fall through the field. But I'd be willing to bet he's still got some tires left. We are in Vegas after all. Maybe a little bit of a gamble from TJ Majors to save a set of tires for later on in this race. Just kind of expecting to have to pit at least one more time. It appears that they're right on the edge of that fuel window. Again, with Peters coming down twice just to top off the fuel tank, she might be right on the line. Now the battle for second is Cleek loses connection again. Straighter out of the back bumper of Adam Pettit, swaps lanes. Top 4 in the frame. The exception of the connection problems that Zachary Cleek's been having, he's got a fast race car out there tonight, and he's showing it off. Goes to the race lead, but McCann may try to battle back around the outside. Not enough room for Cleek to throw the slide job. McCann's right there, noses back out in front down the back straightaway. Adam Pettit trying to become part of this mix, and Cleek disappears again. Cleek slowing now, and Christian Strader will jump to the outside for the 3rd spot. Now TJ Majors, remember, he restarted this race with the race lead. Has fallen all the way back to 15th on those old tires. He's going to have to be careful to make sure he stays on the lead lap until it's time to make that final pit stop. Question is, who else has tires laying over the wall? Again, iRacing, if you're listening, if you could integrate something to let us broadcasters know how many sets of tires still remain for each driver, that would be immensely helpful. Starting to feel like the calm before the storm. Everybody's relatively single file with the exception of this bunch back here with Casey Bentz. They're 3 now going to be 4 wide. No, still close quarters battle between Brandon Mefford, Casey Bentz, Garrett Johnston, and Zachary Cleek as he continues to fall backwards. Had to lead briefly from Brian McCann just a few laps ago, and he's all the way back into 8th now. Chuck Sweeting now up in the third spot. Strader's been near the front most of the night. Getting all he can on the bottom of the racetrack. Might have got a little too much. A little bit of left side tire into the apron. Across the line, 35 laps to go. McCann putting on another dominant performance here tonight. It's been really between him and the 6 this evening. As far as drivers that are dominating out in front, clean air makes a big difference, and they're showing that now. Benson Johnston side by side. It's the battle for the 6th position. We'll pull the pit strategy up here and take a look at it. Break these stints out, at least with the leaders, 22, 26, 25, and now 13 laps since the restart for McCann. I believe one of those pit stops for McCann was a fuel-only stop. We know for certain a handful of drivers had done that. Brandon Mefford, though, has made a handful of pit stops here tonight. Chris Wally up into the 8th position after starting shotgun on the field. Zachary Cleek trying to find his rhythm again as he battles to the inside of William Tyndall. Cleek now into the 10th position. Pace on the 11 has just fallen off since the restart. Not really sure reasons why. Now Chuck Sweeting applying pressure to Brian McCann. Brandon Mefford making a move to the outside for 3rd. Stacks up the outside lane just a bit. We saw that earlier and it ended in disaster. Mefford, though, he had his own off-track excursion and he's still battling now in the top 3. Coming to 30 laps to go. Mefford thinks about going up the middle. Not enough room, or is there? They're going to be 3 wide off of 4. No. Mefford and Strader now. Mefford real loose in the middle of the corner. Drives it down the low side of the racetrack. Hangs on to it. Still in the 4th position. Pancakes the wall a bit on the exit at 2. Strader gets the wall. Bence gets the wall. Quick check on Lilith Peters. She is back in 16th, battling with Kyle Hardy for that position. Again, she has definitely tried to save a set of tires, or potentially maybe she's already burned all those tires. She's made 4 pit stops. She did top off the fuel, hoping this thing runs green all the way to the end. It put her in position to pick up a win. Sweeting and Pettit for the 2nd spot. Pettit's got it. Mefford real loose again down the racetrack, trying to gather it back up. Mefford did take tires at lap 73's caution. He's been pushing hard. And Lilith Peters back in pit lane. Not sure what this is all about. Maybe she just thought, you know what, if at this rate I'm going to go a lap down anyway, might as well come down and take my tires. And there it is. The jack goes underneath the number 1 machine. It'll be 4 tires and a little bit more fuel to ensure enough for green-white checkers if necessary. She'll get back out there and rejoin the fight. Hope luck falls her way. Meanwhile, battle for the race lead. Adam Pettit has caught and gotten alongside Brian McCann. McCann's been able to fend off a lot of these challenges tonight. We'll see if he can do it again with 24 laps to go. And McCann hangs on to it, puts Pettit back in the rear view mirror, car length and a half off the back bumper. McCann is using as much racetrack as possible on the exit of turn 4, really getting that wheel opened up, puts a few inches between himself and that outside safer barrier. Oh, Garrett Johnston chasing the race car in turn 4. And Chuck Sweeting has come to the pits. So potentially some green flag stops here. Lucky 21 to go. Brian McCann out in front. Looking for blackjack. And Adam Pettit will peel off the racetrack and come to pit lane. So the 49 on pit lane for perhaps the final time tonight. Crew doing the fuel economy math, maybe just realizing that they're not going to make it. Going to have to come down and take on some fuel. Might as well bolt the tires on while we're at it. 19 laps to go. Pettit will go down a lap and he'll be back out there. More than enough fuel to make it to the end and fresh tires to boot. So now McCann with Johnston to the back bumper. Guys are using every square inch of this racetrack and sometimes a little bit more as Johnston scrapes the wall off turn number 2. Again, we've seen just about everybody do that at least once tonight. Chris Wally, Kyle White to pit lane. So the question is, with McCann out in front, obviously running the fastest laps of the field right now, being out in the race lead, with no real drafting help in front of him, does he have enough fuel to make it to the finish? Seems like some of these guys don't think that they can because they've come down under the green flag, sacrificed their lead lap positions to do it. Oh, big time hit for Brandon Mefford into the wall off of 2. Breaks his momentum considerably. And hopefully nothing more. .15 laps to go. McCann still out in front. Johnston second. Christian Strader a car length off the back bumper in third. Zachary Kleek has cycled back up into the 4th position. Now remember, Zach was contending for the race lead with McCann when this got restarted, but fell back pretty deep in the field. Now through the cycle of pit stops has cycled his way back up into the top 5. I guess the question is, did he put on that charge to see what he had for McCann and then decide, all right, I'm going to take care of my stuff here and then drive up to the finish, maybe save some fuel at the same time, stretch that to the end, and Garrett Johnston out of shape. Looked like he was shaking the car a little. He was out of fuel. He's lost a spot to Strader now. May lose more. Matt Kopp, the 22, not a lead lap car. Steve Durbin in 5th. He's 7.5 seconds back from the race lead. $12 to go for McCann. Right now, only 7 cars still on the lead lap. Chuck Sweeting, the first car, 1 lap down. Sweeting not down by much. In theory, he could drive up to McCann and retake that lap on his own. But why waste the tire if there's potential for those guys in front of you to have to come pit anyway? Kopp's going to go around McCann here and take his lap back. 22 shown in the 17th position. Now I'm curious what this is going to do for McCann. It's going to dump some dirty air on the nose. See if that allows Strader and Johnston to close the gap. And Brian's going to pull off. 10 laps to go. McCann has to come to pit lane for fuel. Does he go with fuel alone? We're late enough in this race. There's a chance. Or maybe rights only? McCann cleanly into the pit box. And it's going to be fuel only for the 3. McCann throwing the cards down. Going to have to gamble here. Gas and go for Brian McCann with less than 8 laps remaining. Meanwhile, Garrett Johnston stays on the racetrack while Strader and Kleek come down to pit. Fuel only for Strader. Zachary Kleek opts for right sides, drops the jack. He's going to go all 4. It's going to cost him a ton of track position. Now Garrett Johnston from the lead, coming to 7 laps to go, will hit pit lane for his final stop. That'll cycle TJ Majors back to the race lead. Remember, he was fuel only, but now Majors will come to pit lane. Johnston in the pit box. Fuel only for the 15 as well. Johnston maintains the race lead for the time being. Chuck Sweeting may cycle through to the lead here in just a minute. Indeed, he does. And Sweeting is done pitting for the night. Unless we get another caution. Fuel only for TJ Majors as he'll head back on out. So, Chuck Sweeting, your new race leader. Now, Sweeting pulled the undercut. He made a pit stop here at lap 98, about 15 laps ago. But it was fuel only, or at least right sides, or at most right sides. So that'll put Adam Pettit in second. He's 2.3 back. Now, Pettit pit 2 laps later than Sweeting, but did opt for 4 tires. So his lap time is likely to be a bit quicker than Sweeting. Last lap, 2.5 tenths faster than Sweeting. With 6 laps to go, I don't know if he's got enough time to reel him in without a caution. Sweeting may have this one well in hand. So that puts 17 cars back on the lead lap. Matt Kopp, the last car on the lead lap. Todd Kleek in 18th. He's 5 laps down. First driver any laps down. Now 5 laps to go for Chuck Sweeting. Going to be 4 here in just a moment. 2 seconds the advantage on Adam Pettit. Sweeting might steal one here. Thing is, he had pace early. Pettit now a straightaway, not even a full straightaway in the rearview mirror. Pettit now 2 tenths quicker the last time. Sweeting runs a 30.41 this time, and Pettit, again, 2 tenths quicker. I don't think there's enough time, folks. That's the distance from the race lead back to second place, Adam Pettit. It's almost a full straightaway. Two to go. Pettit back 1.6 seconds. Pettit's quicker, but not fast enough. Sweeting just dying to see that white flag. Big money, no whammies. Coming down to the stripe. Final lap, white flag in the air for Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting from the 21st starting position. Had a fast race car, wasn't the fastest race car, but at the end of the day, it's not going to matter because the record book's going to show the 75 with the gamble on early strategy or late strategy to come down and pit late in the race. Will drive it to victory lane here in Las Vegas. He'll win the Anything EC 180. Adam Pettit will come home in the second spot. William Tyndall drives it to third. Brian McCann will finish in 8th, and that first win of the season remains elusive. TJ Majors, a disappointing 15th. On the night where they could have capitalized big on Aaron Smith. Sweeting does some quick donuts on the front stretch and may be opting for the Polish victory lap. Nope. Just going to take the right-hand turn, bring it to the pits. That's all she wrote. We're going to step aside, folks, get one more break out of the way. We'll be back with a top 3 full of fresh faces after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Anything EC 180 in the books, and a new winner in Victory Lane, Chuck Sweeting, taking top honors here tonight, kind of spoiling it for a lot of these guys. Sweeting coming into tonight's race 18th in the point standings, no wins, 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s. Parks it in Victory Lane. He's got to be happy about it. Let's find out. Bring the driver, the number 75, into the broadcast booth. Chuck, it's Steve with Track Limits Network. You got us?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Chuck, congratulations, man. First win on the season. You had a fast race car out there for sure. Put the challenge on with the leaders, but strategy kind of came into play there late. Made a pit stop with about 22 laps to go. I don't think you took any tires. Was it fuel only or was it right sides?
Right sides only.
Right sides only. Got it done. Gave yourself about a 2-second cushion back to Adam Pettit. He was faster at the end, but not fast enough to run you down and take this win away from you. You take the win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, man. How did you do it? Did you plan it out in your head this way?
Yeah, when we had that last caution, I decided I would just run about halfway through it and just take 2 tires. Tires were important, but not as big a deal as I thought they were going to be before the race, because I stayed out on an old set one time and didn't lose that much time to the leader, so I thought I could handle it under 2, and the car didn't really change the balance of the car, so it's just a matter of saving that time on pit road, that just enough for me to come home ahead of Adam and William.
Well, it was an impressive run to the finish. I think really the only laps you led tonight were the final ones, obviously the ones that mattered. Not a great run in the points this year, sitting 18th in the standings, but man, this win here in Vegas has got to feel good.
Yeah, it feels awesome. It's been a long time coming, and yeah, I had a really rough early part of the season and didn't make the playoffs, but we'll do the best we can the rest of the season, and maybe this will give us a little momentum.
Well, it's all we can ask for. Now we look forward to some short track racing next week at Kevin Harvick's Kern County Raceway. I know it's been kind of hit and miss on the short tracks for a lot of you guys. How do you feel about running these smaller tracks with this ARCA car next week?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be better than what we've had in the past. At least I hope it has. That's a bigger, wider track than some of the others we've run on, and I like the track, and I think we're a little bit more used to how to race each other with this. So my fingers are crossed. I hope we can all at least have a good, clean race and have a good time.
You and me both, Chuck. Certainly looking forward to it. I love the short tracks, especially when they can put on a good show. If any series can do it, it's going to be the IROC Challenge Series. So we look forward to that. Chuck, congrats again here, picking up the win here tonight, man. Who do you want to shout out to?
Just thanks to all the sponsors, Premier, Anything EC, Chris Wally for all the hard work he does, all the effort he puts in, just to do this for fun. I really, really appreciate it. Appreciate all the respect from the other drivers too. So thanks to them. Thanks to you guys for the awesome broadcast.
All right, Chuck. Well, thanks for the kind words, man. Congrats again. Good luck next week.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Chuck Sweeting, your race winner here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Next is Adam Pettit, our runner-up here tonight, but it looks like we do not have him in the green room, so we'll go to third place, William Tyndall, and get a word with our third place finisher, the driver, the number 62. Pull him up into the booth. William, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Yeah, what's going on?
How you doing, William? Congratulations, third place finish after an 11th place start tonight. Walk us through your night tonight. Some strategy came into play here late. What was the game plan coming in, and did you stick to that plan all night long, or did you make some changes at the end?
Yeah, my plan was not to get wrecked and stay out all of that, and then save a set of tires and just try to get something at the end. All I had to do was finish tonight. I just couldn't afford wrecking out to make it to the next rounds.
Well, third
place. I think
place.
if I would have, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
If I would have went with my gut and came down as soon as Chuck did, I think I would have been right there with him. But I stayed out an extra 5 laps, and I think that's what made the difference there.
Well, it could have been. Chuck took 2 on his pit stop at around lap 98. I think you were 4 laps later with 4 tires. So I don't know how it would have panned out. Either way, you got a solid finish out of it. Good strategy, a good gamble there at the end to save a set of tires. It worked out for those guys that made it play. The dominant drivers tonight walking away without a victory. Sweeting gets the win. You finish in the 3rd spot. So a solid night, like you said, just trying to advance on into the next round, which starts next week at Kern County Raceway. Short track racing to start round number 2. How do you feel about it?
Well, I feel pretty good about myself on short tracks. It just depends if I make it through the mayhem or not.
All right, William. Well, congratulations again. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Oh, Chris for putting on a league where I can have a fun time on Monday nights without putting anything up like iRating. And everybody else out here that don't races with their head and does a decent job of taking care of people. Most everybody out here does.
All right, William. Well, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week.
All right, man. Thanks. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, man. It's William Tyndall, your 3rd place finisher here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I don't think we're going to have Adam Pettit, so that's going to do it for the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's get to our race results. Of course, we talked to 2 of our top 3, Chuck Sweeting picking up the race win and William Tyndall in the 3rd position. Adam Pettit finished 2nd. Brandon Mefford was 4th. 5th went to Casey Bentz. 6th went to Christian Strader. Garrett Johnston was 7th. Tough night for Brian McCann. Another dominant race for the 3. Unfortunately, can't put the entire race together. Had to come down and pit with 10 laps to go. He'll finish in the 8th position. Kyle White finishes in the 9th position. Chris Wally started last, brings home a top 10. Steve Durbin was 11th. Doug Wysocki, 12th. Lilith Peters finishes in the 13th spot. Kind of bit by the same strategy as the dominant guys here tonight. So she finished it. Lead lap, didn't wreck the race car, so that's progress going forward. I still think we're going to see her in victory lane before the season's out. Zachary Cleek was 14th. 15th went to TJ Majors, another strategy issue there with the 6. Didn't take tires on a late pit stop, and I think that's the bet he had to lay in. Kyle Hardy was 16th. Matt Kopp, 17th. Todd Cleek comes home in the 18th spot. Kevin McCann, after contact with Zachary Cleek, which I believe was due to netcode, unfortunately put the 33 out of this one early. Gavin Hinson, rough night with Neil Quick and some problems on the opening grid lap. Finished 20th. Peter Ruzick was 21st. Evan Janik, 22nd. Neil Quick, 23rd. And Chris Mefford will take the 24th and final spot. Never got to the green flag. Again, Steve Durbin having a connection problem with the wheel. Took a hard left into the path of Chris Mefford and took him out of this one before it even got underway. But that's your results here from the Anything EC 180 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Season 10 of the IROC Challenge Series well on its way to wrapping up. Very short order. Round 2 of the playoffs start next week at Kevin Harvick's Kern County Raceway. Got to thank all you guys for tuning in here tonight. Again, if you haven't already done it, like and subscribe. Help us out. If you're not already a subscriber, it doesn't cost anything. Just click the button. We're just trying to boost up those numbers. The thumbs up, that's the like button. And we do multicast, if you didn't already know, on the Track Limits Network channel, but also on IROC TV. So do the same for both. Help us both out. We do appreciate that. I'm sure Chris Wally does as well. But it's going to do it for us. Thanks for tuning in here tonight. Congratulations to Chuck Sweeting picking up the win here tonight. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.